Hello, my name is Jody Humes. Welcome to my reflection video. I'm currently a master's candidate in the Educational Technology program at Boise State University. The primary purpose of this video is to reflect on my experience in the EdTech program and discuss how it's contributed to my professional growth as a teacher. I began my teaching career in San Jose, California at Abraham Lincoln High School in 1998, and I worked there until 2006 teaching English. After 8 years of teaching, I moved to the Mission District in San Francisco, California, and I began working at Carlmont High School, which is located in Belmont, California. In 2010, after having taught for a total of 12 years, I began to feel that my teaching was becoming a little bit stagnant, and I decided I needed to do something to breathe new life into the curriculum. Rather than pursuing a master's degree in English, I thought that getting a master's degree in educational technology would have more of an impact on my students. At that time, I had a smartboard to basically display the daily agenda. I certainly didn't use it to its full potential. So as a result, I began to take smartboard workshops provided by the school district. And I discovered that incorporating technology into the curriculum really sparked student interest, and it also made me excited to learn. After doing some research, I decided to apply to the EdTech program at Boise State University, and I was accepted into the program in 2010.
I will now identify and discuss a few of my most meaningful projects that I had an opportunity to develop while taking courses in the EdTech program. The first project was created in EdTech 506, Instructional Message Design. For my final project, I created a website that I designed to teach freshman students how to write a response to literature essay. I've always been interested in art and design and enjoy creating visuals. But before taking EdTech 506, I didn't have any formal training regarding instructional design. I would simply use my untrained eye to make choices regarding aesthetics. I knew when something looked good, but I could not articulate how it could be used to effectively deliver a message. EdTech 506 provided a wonderful mix of design principles and practice. It taught me different principles regarding chunking information, using color, utilizing cueing devices, sequencing information, making the best use of space, and a whole lot more. It also gave me the opportunity to apply what I had learned. To demonstrate my knowledge of these instructional design principles, I created 8 images that I used to teach response to literature writing. For example, on the page that describes the qualities of a thesis, I decided to use a symbol. An illustration of a spine is vertically displayed next to the definition. I use a symbol to help learners with the meaning of a thesis statement, because the thesis statement is essentially the backbone of an essay. An essay cannot stand without one, just as a person needs a backbone to stand. In EdTech 506, I learned that symbols, icons, and metaphors can really help people learn new information. And when I show this particular design to students, I think it allows them to understand the importance of writing a thesis statement. Before creating this website, I would simply give students a list of writing terminology, have students take notes on the various definitions, and then give them an opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge of the terms by writing an essay. Now that I use the images to discuss the terminology, students have a deeper understanding of what they mean. The images really help demystify the writing process, and I think they essentially provide a scaffold that is so important for beginning essay writers. It's also a beneficial resource when I see that students need to revisit information. If they need more guidance when it comes to writing introductory paragraphs, I can have them visit the website, which is incredibly helpful. I really could not go back to teaching the response to literature essay without it. Before taking EdTech 506, my use of images was really limited to simply using them to decorate the smartboard, but after taking this course, I now have the ability to effectively design images to teach complex learning material. In EdTech 513, I created a worked example screencast on how to integrate quotations. Students who are beginning writers really struggle when it comes to providing evidence to support their ideas, so they need explicit instruction regarding how to weave the words of others into their writing. Using my smartboard and Camtasia, I created a video tutorial in which I provide students with 4 strategies for how to integrate quotations. After introducing these methods, I review the rules for the learner. The next segment demonstrates how one could take a quotation and integrate it using each of the methods that were previously introduced. And in the final portion of the video, I provide students with an opportunity to independently practice. Their task is to use the novel that they are reading in class and to write 4 lead-ins using each of the methods identified. I found that this video works for both freshmen and seniors. Freshmen need it because, for many of them, it's their first time that they're citing others, and many seniors either simply drop quotations into their writing without any sort of introduction, or they're really limited in the strategies that they have to weave quotations into their writing. In the EdTech program, I learned about the modality principle, which states that it's best to use audio and visuals so that the learner is not overwhelmed by written material. To ensure that my learners' brains were not confronted with too much information, when I introduced the different strategies to integrate quotations, I thought it would be best to provide a visual or a couple of words to introduce the strategy instead of writing out the entire rule. Students already have to read the quotation, so I really tried to limit the amount of text that they had to process. Before I created this video, I would introduce strategies regarding how to integrate quotations, and then I would jump to having students independently practice the strategies. But I found that showing worked examples is much more effective because it demonstrates the thought process, which gives students a much better sense of how to write a lead-in for a quotation. This project was also beneficial in that it gave me an opportunity to learn how to use Camtasia, which I plan on using to create many more tutorial videos. In EdTech 542, I created a project-based learning unit called Career Exploration. It's designed for high school seniors to explore a career that suits their interests and talents. Major components of the unit include taking a career inventory test, writing a resume, researching the career of their choice, creating a multimedia presentation on their career, and delivering the presentation to their classmates. Project-based learning is beneficial because students try to answer a guiding question that matters to them. In this project, students are eager to learn an ideal career choice and figure out what the job entails and how they can create a plan to get there. Another feature of project-based learning is collaboration. In this unit, even though students are essentially researching their own career choice, they still have opportunities for collaboration. For example, when writing the resume, students peer edit each other's rough drafts and provide constructive comments so that their final drafts are improved. This unit also requires collaboration during the entry event, which involves looking at examples of poorly written resumes. They work together to identify what doesn't work in the examples so that they can avoid making the same mistakes in their own resumes. Before teaching this unit, I would have students take a career inventory test and then have them write a resume. But I discovered that developing a project-based learning unit based on a driving question makes a big difference when it comes to student motivation. It gives them more of a buy-in than simply telling students to do something because it is a requirement. In addition, the peer resume review has made a difference in the quality of writing. By assessing a classmate's work, students have more of an awareness of the qualities of strong resume writing, which transfers to their final product. Plus, it's always helpful to have another set of eyes on one's writing. Project-based learning does involve having a public audience, so I plan on showing students presentations during open house night. This will give parents, siblings, administrators, and community members an opportunity to see what they have accomplished. And this gives students an added incentive to really take pride in their work.
As I look back on my EdTech experience, I realized I learned much more than I had anticipated. I had no idea that the theories and principles would affect me as much as they have. And in many ways, I feel like I learned more about teaching through the EdTech program than I did when I earned my teaching credential. Learning about constructivism has had a profound effect on my beliefs and practices. And also some of the learning theories, such as the modality principle and the redundancy principle, have altered the way that I deliver information to my students. In addition to all this, I feel like I gained many practical skills, like how to film a video tutorial using Camtasia, record a podcast, design instructional messages, create a website, structure a web quest, build a virtual field trip. I mean, the list really goes on and on. The EdTech program has had a major effect on me both personally and professionally. And the next step involves continuing to learn new technology and integrate it in a meaningful way that will ultimately benefit my students and leave me feeling content after an honest day's work.